Hi YouTube, Jermaine here. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a tutorial on how to create an ad in 2026 for your e-commerce brand and how you can pretty much do this yourself. You don't need an agency, you don't need a freelancer from Fiverr or Upwork. Like, you can literally take this tutorial, walk through your ad account and start to create ads for your brand literally today, okay? I'll walk you through exactly how to set up your ads in the next 10 minutes or so. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So welcome to Inside My Screen, guys. Now, as you can see, I've just used a dummy ad account that I have internally for the agency. It is a brand new ad account. It has no metrics. It has nothing really attached to it. So this is pretty much what it's going to be like when you first get access to your ad account, right? Or when you first create your ad account. Now, before you do what I'm about to show you now, you need to make sure you have the Facebook Pixel installed on your website, okay? There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to do that. Maybe we'll create one ourselves for our clients, but plenty of tutorials on how to do it. Just simply install your Facebook Pixel, make sure it's working on your website. It's very easy to do by Shopify if you have a Shopify brand or a Shopify store, and you can just make sure that's connected, and then you need to connect it to your ad account, okay? Again, plenty of tutorials online on how to do this. Okay, I don't want to go ahead and show you how to do it on here. This is more for how to pretty much have everything ready and how to create and launch your ads. This is the part, and I take calls with potential brands all the time that we're working with or could potentially work with. And a lot of their clients really don't have a clue and they get really overwhelmed, especially if they're a new kind of start e-commerce brand. They get really scared and kind of intimidated by the ad account, right? It's a very simple platform, okay? It's more in the scaling side of things where it gets more complex, okay? With more creators, more audiences, all that kind of stuff, right? When you're first starting out and start building your initial data, it's really not that complex. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how. Now, the biggest mistake I see so many founders make is by boosting their ads, boosting directly inside the Instagram app, okay, boosting directly inside the feed. This just reduces the amount of data that you can actually get from the ad accounts, which defeats the whole point. Ads is a data game. The more data you have, the more Instagram and Facebook, even Google, the more these platforms understand your brand, your product, your audience, so they can serve you to more people in the algorithm. When you're boosting directly, you're pretty much telling Meta or Facebook, show me to as many people as possible. And that doesn't mean as many customers as possible. That doesn't mean as many targeted audiences as possible. It is literally just straight out in the open field, and you're pretty much hoping for a return. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do this inside the ad account so you can actually get better returns from your ads. So you wanna go ahead and create. Okay, we're gonna turn this off, no collaborative ads. Now, it depends obviously this is a brand new ad, so there's gonna be some warning errors going on throughout the account. This isn't being actively used right now. But let's just say you're an e-commerce brand, okay, and you wanna start generating traffic and sales for your store. So you wanna go through a sales campaign, okay, click continue. Auction type would be buy-in, okay. Now, you wanna be very specific with the actual captions and the titles of all your campaigns. So let's just say this is top of funnel. This is usually where you'll start. What's the date? Let's just do July launch. So that's how you name the campaign name. Okay, everything here pretty much will be set as normal. Just leave that as for now. Budget is completely dependent on you. Now, you can go through ABO, which is, ad set budget testing, or you can go through CBO, which is campaign budget optimization. It really depends which way you want to go through. If you're a brand new account, okay, again, this account is closed, so do not pay too much attention to this. But if you're a brand new account, okay, I would probably recommend going directly with the first option here, okay? Depending on your ad spend, okay, is what you want to set the daily budget as. Make sure you're setting something that you're comfortable with, because this will spend on a day-to-day basis, unless you're doing like a sales period or something like that. Basically, at the start of your business with e-commerce, you want to pay to acquire data, okay? However, if you're doing organic, okay, this will fast forward that whole process. Let's just say you're doing viral content organically right now. That's feeding your Facebook Pixel, which is actually going to fast forward your whole ads process. But let's just say you don't have any of that right now. This is basically what you're going to want to go ahead and do. So that's just all that. Leave that as now. Go to next. Again, depends on the market. The clients that we particularly work with are within the UAE or Saudi. So let's just do a UAE based, okay, audience here. So the ad set, okay, see it as the audience, okay? So when you go to ad set level, that is pretty much the audience that you're going to be specifically targeting for the ad. And you can create many ad sets just for one campaign. So picture it as like a cluster, okay? So the top of the cluster here is the campaign level, okay? This is where we create the campaign. And the second part, or second tier of the cluster, is called the ad set level. This is literally where you have all your audiences, okay? And you can test different audiences within the same campaign under the same budget. And then we have the ad level, which is the bottom. That is where we actually have the ads itself, the ad copy, the ad creatives, and this is where you can go crazy with testing different creative examples and seeing what sticks and what works for your brand. So you always want to do conversions from audiences. You want to do website-based conversion locations, okay? Unless you have an app or you're doing lead generation, but for the sake of this video, we're doing direct to consumer. So we're doing lead generation-based ads. Okay, leave everything else as normal, okay? Here is where you want to connect to the pixel. I'm not going to click connect because it's going to show all our client information, but you want to literally connect this to your pixel, okay, which is going to be known as a data set. Meta's changed this in the last couple of months now. And you will link this to your Meta pixel or your Meta data set as it's called now, okay? And that's where it will be shown. So like I said at the start, you want to have a Meta pixel installed. You then will have the ability to connect it to this part here of the process. Scrolling down, okay, depending on your start date is of course when you can do the start date. I recommend doing like 12:01, okay, AM. So that's like literally the start of the next day to get the most out of your ads. And this is where things get interesting. Okay, so location based, we are going to work with brands in the UAE. So let's just do United States Arabs, but let's just say you a UK based brand or US based brand. This is where you will then enter that in. Of course, you guys need to be aware. If you go in directly to to the markets like US or the UK or Australia, these are much bigger markets, especially the US. These are much more competitive markets, which means your costs are going to be higher. Your CPMs are going to be higher. CPM stands for cost per mile. How much it costs you to get in front of 1,000 people. That is what a CPM stands for. So that would be higher in locations and markets like the United States, for example, right? So just have that in mind. But we're going in the UAE here, okay? If we were to do Saudi, it'll be the exact same thing. Enter in Saudi, make sure the default address or country is taken off. So this campaign is going to target all the clients, all the audiences within the United Arab Emirates, okay? Coming further down, okay, WhatsApp included. Placements, okay, this is going to show exactly where the ads are going to be on, okay? It's going to show exactly how, let's say you want to do Meta ads stories, you want to do Meta ads posts, Meta ads feeds, Meta ads reels. There's multiple placements that you can have control over. You can actually choose. Just leave it on Advantage on for now, okay? You don't need to go too complex into that. Now that's it from the ad set level, okay? Minimum age, you can go more targeted here, but for now, the way Meta has evolved over the last few years is your creatives are going to do most of the targeting. There's once upon a time where you can sit here and put in like, I don't know, let's just say you're a beauty brand. You could type in like your competitors in here. You could type in like oud, like perfumes, cosmetic, makeup, all that kind of interest-based targeting. That really is no more. Meta is strong enough now to understand who interacts with your creatives to then use that as the interest-based targeting. So your creatives nowadays really will do most of the talking. So that's a very, very interesting shift in the market over the last couple months to a year now, okay? To go to next, this is gonna be the first ad. So let's just do UGC ad 1. And then this is where we'll do, you want to make sure your Facebook page is connected, okay? You want to make sure that you've connected your Instagram page, okay? Don't use Facebook page. It's always best to have Instagram page because you will typically get customers that will follow the Instagram page that see your ads, but don't make a purchase right now. Maybe they'll just follow your page and on Instagram and they'll just like engage and just watch your content. And then when the time is right, when the sales come out or when the salary comes out, you will see that you do get some more purchases that come off the back of that because you do find a lot of people that just will follow your page and just kind of window shop for now, right? This happens all the time for us as well. Before we sign clients, we see, brands and founders literally just follow our social pages, okay? And then when we put up a really good case study that resonates with them, always say that we're looking for more clients, we'll see those founders and DM us directly, and then we obviously make a new sale that way. Same thing would work for your e-commerce brands. It will just be at a bigger scale, right? Because you have more individual customers direct to consumer opposed to B2B, okay? But you want to connect your Instagram page, very, very simple. It just literally logins and it will connect. And this is the fun part. This is where you then start to add your website in, okay? Again, depending on the strategy that you're going for your brand, I recommend going to website on one, so your home page. Then you want to go and test different landing pages. So directly to your product pages, directly towards your collection pages. You can also go ahead and be creative and create landing pages, okay, unique landing pages for your products. There's different variations, different strategies that you can do. This is where an agency would be more that you're valuable for these kind of brands, but you can just test this out for yourself and see what converts the best, okay? This is where we go set up creative, okay? This is where you can then choose between image ads or video ads. Okay, I'm not gonna go too deep into this because I believe it's gonna ask me to upload directly, but yeah, I can show you an example here. Let's just say we're using this media here. Click next. This is just a random case study that we've had before in the past. Leave it all on original for now, okay? You can crop it depending on the placement, so just make sure it fits very nicely in frame like this. Same thing like this, make sure this fits very nicely in the frame. This one's fine, go to next. And this is where you want to use your primary text. So obviously we have copywriters in combination with Claude or ChatGPT or AI internally in the agency, but you can use your imagination, right? Study your competitors, see what they're doing, okay? And this is where you will add in the ad copies and add in the headlines and descriptions for your products and for your ads. And you always want to do shop now based call to action buttons. Now this is where it gets interesting because Instagram or Meta now have AI that can help you create more creatives based off the input examples. So you can see here, just from that one creative that I sent, they've given me multiple different variations. Okay, and some of these look pretty clean. This one looks pretty clean here. This one looks a bit too clip arty. This one looks pretty clean here. Actually, the head looks very weird, but you kind of get the gist of it, right? Like if you have videos, it will create different variations of videos based off the input that you sent. And again, you can turn one piece of ad creative into like 3, 4, 5, depending on how you like the creative as a founder, right? So you can really have multiple variations just from the one creative. Go to next, depending on your preference, but you can choose to have, enhancements on these ads itself. We typically don't. And then once you do that, the ad will show here, okay? Of course, you want to add the primary text in Vogue marketing. Obviously, you want to use sales frameworks, copywriting techniques, etc. Click here. This is pretty much what your ad would look like, okay? Now you want to make sure that you have the best creatives that you possibly can, because like I said, the audience targeting now is heavily based off creatives. And that is how you'll get in front of your ideal customers, okay? So again, do not get too overwhelmed by this. Very, very simple. Now this ad account is disabled, but let's just say obviously you will then go ahead and publish. You then literally go ahead and click the publish button, okay? If you're happy with how these ads look, like this, and you can see different examples. If you click on advanced preview, it will show you every single type of placement and what that looks like. And you can literally just look at that here. As you can see, the reels looks different to the profile feeds, stories looks different to the post feeds. Okay, you can get a really good preview on exactly what your ads would look like here. And then all you need to do is then go ahead and click publish. Within a couple hours, Instagram or Meta will approve the ads if it's obviously within terms and conditions. If it doesn't, it will reject the ad. It will show you why. You then need to go ahead and make changes to the issue that it shows you, and then you should be good to relaunch and repost there. Now, let's just say you've launched that one ad and you want to launch another ad. You can literally click duplicate. It still won't let me duplicate because I need to actually launch the ad, but then you can go ahead and create ad again here. And it's just going to be alongside the other ad that I created. That's already going to be saved, okay? And this is, again, the whole new process. It's going to start again. Just make sure everything's clean, website's clean, creative is set up the exact way I showed you. The ad copy is set up exactly the same way I showed you. And you're then again good to launch another ad. So then technically we'll have 2 ads here, okay, under this one ad set, which is the UAE audience that we're targeting, under this one campaign. So all of this is going to be optimized under this one campaign, okay? I recommend using one campaign to start with, see how it performs, okay? And then make changes based off the results of that campaign. So I hope that makes sense. Any questions, drop in the comments or drop me a message on Instagram. I'll link that below. Hopefully you found this valuable. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.